I can totally imagine a super kudo guy, right? Like walk in and then hit her head on something. Oh, めっちゃやばいんだけど頭ぶつけたんだけどさ. Like I can totally like, yeah. So that's like an airhead. Like すんごい全然見えなかったんだけど頭ぶつけた. Yeah. Airheads, bro. Airheads.
Excuse me, Masen.
Welcome to another episode of the Excuse Me Masen podcast. I'm your host, Saul, and joining me today is Skoey. How's it going, bro?
Hey.
Yeah, so today we're talking about Japanese slang. But before we do that, maybe we can talk about what's the news, what's the talk of the town, what's going on. You know the singer Ado, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
I learned that she's actually living in California, trying to learn English so that she can start, crossing over into the US market. But yeah, I saw one of her tweets where she was like, man, why is it that I'm studying English and I've been in America for so long, but my English is still crap or something like that.
Oh, really?
But she said it in such an American way, like the way it was written
she's already
was like
getting
really good.
She's already getting to her like that level, huh?
I think she was talking about speaking, not writing. So writing, she's probably all good, but maybe her speaking is lacking. Okay, so the first word that we have today is Yabai. I hear this like almost every day in Japan. I mean, if you've been living in Japan for a week, you probably heard it a bunch of times already.
And you will use it. You will use it.
The first time I heard it, it was 2000. I came to Japan and I was doing homestay in Nagano with my cousin. We were sleeping in the homestay family's son's bedroom, and then they moved him to sleep with his family in the family room. And then when we were playing with the son, he brought out all his action figures. And then anytime we touched the action figure, he would be like, yabai, 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 yabai. And then me and my cousin would just be like, what the hell does that mean? Yabai, yabai, yabai. We thought he was saying yaba, 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 like yabba dabba doo. Like,
yeah.
And we didn't understand what he meant, but just by his vibes, we're guessing, okay, yaba, yaba means like, don't do that or something like that. And then later on we found out, or I found out at least, that that's not what it meant. But let me get through the meaning and then I'll ask you if you have any stories to tell.
Sure.
So yabai is a versatile slang meaning anything from cool or awesome to dangerous or terrible. And it originally meant dangerous or risky, but over time, particularly in modern usage, it evolved to include more positive meanings such as awesome or extreme. And it's now widely used across Japan in both positive and negative contexts. I guess some of the slang that they have in Japan, of course, just like in America, whether it's used by one or the other gender depends. But in this case, yabai is used by both genders. And its English equivalent would be like sick or epic or lit. And there's more words that are kind of like the same or similar meaning. But like an example situation would be like, let's say you see an amazing sunset while you're hiking and you're like, この夕日やばいね, or something like that, meaning this sunset is lit.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much the meaning that I have. And you have any stories you want to tell with that word?
Yabai. That's like, probably I use that almost every day too. Like, yabai, freaking time or whatever. Like, damn. Like, I think of yabai also like being like, damn. Also, you can say, damn.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So for foreigners that want to learn Japanese, put that in your list because that's a really helpful and useful word.
I also want to note that a lot of the words that we're going to talk about today end in I, like yabai. And then what I learned from Kato is that if you take away the I, it intensifies the word. So for example, if you say yaba, then that makes it even more extreme than just yabai.
Yes.
And then you can enunciate or you can pause yaba like that, and it makes it even more.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, go for it.
And then for guys, if you go,
what's up?
Bet. That's like freaking like,
Yabai.
Like, yeah, that's like more like freaking dude, bro, yabai.
Yeah. The next one, this one also ends in E, and it's Kimoi. Kimoi is short for kimochiwarui, meaning gross or creepy. And it became widely used in casual conversations, particularly among younger people. This one also can be used by both genders, but it's possibly used more frequently among women in reaction to certain situations. But yeah, so the English equivalent would be like ew or like gross or yeah. An example scenario could be, for example, let's say a cockroach runs across the kitchen floor and you're like, "Wah, kimoi." Yeah, that sounds something like more like a girl would say, at least
yeah,
from
kimo.
my experience.
Yeah.
And then, you just took away the E at the end. Kimo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Perfect.
That came naturally. But there's an example.
I have never used this word just because I feel like, for me personally, it feels like a young person's word. And I don't feel young.
We're old, bro. No, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
So my little daughter, she's 5 now, but she's been listening to her classmates, right? And little boys are speaking like,
Yeah, they're speaking kind of dirty.
yeah, dirty. That's the one. Yeah. So, and then she caught on to it, or she's like listening to them, and then she'll bring that home, and she'll be like, Yabai. And I'm like, eh? No, don't say yabai. That's not nice. No, say yabai. So I was telling her a story in the car, right? Because I always tell her, put on your seatbelt. I don't want you, if I get in an accident, you can fly and hit your head over here. You know what I mean? Like, you know me? And I got really deep, not deep, but I was like, I told her a story. I told them all my story. I was like, my dad said, if you don't put your seatbelt on and then something happens, you're going to fly and hit your head. You might even die. I didn't listen, right? And he's like, if something happens, I don't know. That's up to you. You're the one who didn't listen, right? And then one day, I freaking didn't put the seatbelt, and he got into an accident, and I freaking flew and I hit the windshield. And I was crying. He's like, see? You know what I mean? And I was telling the story to the girls, right? And they're all quiet listening. And then after I said my last word, 5 seconds pause, and then my little girl was like, Kime.
And I feel like a lot of these slang words that, for example, the ones that are used a lot by girls, you can relate to how in the US, some girls have that really annoying way of speaking where they're like, oh my God, like, oh my God.
Yeah, like especially those, what do you call it? Garus, like the old-fashioned garus.
Old-fashioned garus?
Like the old-fashioned, like the ones before, when they tan themselves where they look black.
Oh, you mean the black ones, the kuro garu?
And they freaking make their face look like, dude, you don't need that. And they make themselves look too much of like a freaking like fried up Barbie or something like.
Yeah. Barbie. Yeah, those are called kuro garu. They basically just take the tanning booth like to the extreme.
Dude,
and then they
put
on full-on makeup and try to make themselves look like those old school dolls that wearing the ballroom dresses and stuff like that.
Yeah. And the way they talk is really like rude and dirty.
Yeah.
So he's like, so he think it's Yabai. Yeah, it's like super airheady. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the equivalent of what I was talking about.
Smoking her cigarettes and like. Yeah. Exactly, bro.
The part where you're just like, I see them do that a lot.
Right. I can totally imagine a super kuro guy, right? Like walk in and then hit her head on something. Like I can totally like, yeah. So that's like an airhead. Like, yeah. Airheads, bro. Airheads. Stupid. My bad.
Okay.
Breathe.
Bro, you're so good at impersonating them, man.
Oh my God. That was my first time ever trying.
Man, it's been a while since I laughed so hard that tears come out.
I love it.
Okay, so The next word we have is Maji. Maji means seriously or for real, like used to express something genuinely true or serious. And Maji is derived from majime, which also means serious or earnest. And it's commonly used in informal contexts. Maji, I mean, especially among youth to emphasize sincerity or intensity. And then this one, man, it's used by everybody. And it's kind of like saying, no way. Or like, seriously? Like,
yes. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say an example scenario is like your friend tells you they won the lottery and you're like, Maji de? No way. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, man, I hear everybody use. I hear Kato use it. Everyone.
Yes. Crucial to put in your list as well.
I think the reason why I don't use it is because I learned Japanese originally from school. So I took, for example, X amount of years in high school and then again in college. And then when I finally learned to speak it well, in a previous episode, I explained that it was my father-in-law. Episode I did with Devin, I explained that my father-in-law is the one that made me pretty good at Japanese because he doesn't speak English like at all. And of course, he's not youth, right? He's in his probably 60s now, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So he doesn't use like Maji.
Yeah. 本当に? Like he'll use like the actual
the real word.
formal and just nice and yeah. I use that all the time. Like, but of course I do the deska in the end. Like, yeah, I got into a car accident. Maji desu ka? You know, like I would definitely use that. Yeah,
and I can totally visualize even like if like an unfortunate things happen, you'd be like, oh, Maji ka.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious right now? Like,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, all these words, awesome to hear.
Yep, and very crucial to learn as well.
You're going to be hearing these all the time, and they're likely not going to teach you that in school. So
true, very true.
Okay, so the next one we have is one I don't like to hear.
What's this one?
According to the people that I talk to, it's like really, really bad if you do the thing that you said. But the word is Uzai.
Oh.
Yeah. Uzai means annoying, and it's often used when something or someone is irritating. And then the term is believed to be derived from uzattai, but this isn't explicitly detailed in online sources that I looked up. But that seems to be where it's pointing to. And then it's commonly used again by both men and women. And it means, like I said, annoying or bugging or like buzzkill even. So like an example scenario would be, let's say a loud commercial interrupts your favorite TV show. And you're like, この CM うざいな. So this commercial is such a buzzkill, for example.
Yeah.
And then the thing that you said where you changed that thing before the I to a e.
Yeah.
And then you say like, uze. In Japan, I heard like, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't heard it many times, but when I hear it, the Japanese people who are in the room all like pay attention.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, what was going on? Yeah.
Like it's enough to make people turn their heads.
For sure. Like, whoa. Like you can be like, oh my God, I was like freaking walking on the beach and then I got no, how was that? Huh? You know, it's like freaking, like everyone's going to stop. Like the one where you're like, it's like, yeah.
You know,
sure.
I thought it actually, I thought it came from urusai. And I thought they just like made it dirty and said like uzai.
That's why when you said the actual, I was like,
the uzattai, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what's that?
I never heard that one before too.
Yeah,
like I learned urusai from school, but uzattai sounds like it might be like a really old word and they took it from there.
Seems like it. I never knew that one.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's where it came from. Uzai no.
What a buzzkill.
Yeah.
So the next one we have, this one actually, I learned from Kato that it's legit because I wasn't sure because I never heard it until, actually I heard it over winter break. My student's mom was using it when they came over, but it's Insta-bae. And this describes something that looks great in photos, especially on Instagram. So Insta-bae combines Instagram and bae, which means to shine or to look good. it gained popularity as Instagram became more prominent in Japan, especially among young women. So this one is more popular among women due to its association with social media aesthetics. And like I said, the first time I heard it for real was recently, and it was by a woman. And the English equivalent of Insta-bae is like Insta-worthy. But I've even heard people take it to the next step and just take away the word Insta completely and say baesuru. So baesuru means I'm going to upload this.
Baesuru.
But then, yeah. So let's say you find a beautifully decorated cafe and you're like, kono cafe Insta-bae suru. Like, this cafe is Insta-worthy, or like, I'm gonna upload this. I'm gonna take a picture and upload it. It's like a really short way of saying that, basically. So the next one we have is Hanpa Nai.
Hanpa Nai.
Yeah, until researching this episode, like I heard it a million times, but I never asked them what it meant, and I never understood what it meant either. But according to what I checked online, it means incredible or not halfway. So used to describe something or someone that exceeds expectations. Hanpa Nai is a contraction of Hanpa Janai, meaning not incomplete or not half-hearted. And it's commonly used to describe something extraordinary or goes above and beyond. And this one is gender neutral, so like both genders use it. And the English equivalent is like off the charts or next level. Let's take an example scenario, right? Let's say you watch an athlete break a world record and you're like, "Kare no performance hanpa nai." His performance was next level.
Yeah. So at my house right now, it's in Kitakata. So right now, the snow is like, they say Oyuki no season, or not Oyuki no season, but it's like the week of crazy snow. And right now, the Yuki is snow. The Yuki ga hanpa nai. Like for real. Like for real, bro. Like no joke. Like I won't say nai for this. I'll be like, I'll say ne. Hanpa ne. Like crazy.
Insane in the membrane. When you said heavy snow, I was thinking of the By the Way song that we did in that other episode. And I was like, heavy snow, by the way.
Heavy snow, heavy glow. Okay,
so the next one we have is Bimyo. Bimyo is often used to express something iffy or not quite right. And it means subtle or delicate in classical Japanese. So the modern meaning is different from the original meaning. But in modern slang, it's used to describe something unsatisfactory or ambiguous, as I said. And this one is common with all genders, again. And it's like kind of like saying meh or sketchy. An example scenario could be, let's say your friend asks you, how'd you like that movie? And you're like, bimyo datta.
Yeah. I use that all the time because when people say, your freaking Japanese is really good, I get that all the time. Like, sometimes it's good, but sometimes I say, well, thank you very much, but I'm on a Bimyo na level. You know, like I say, my level is Bimyo.
In that case, Bimyo sounds like unreliable. Yeah. Like sometimes you're all like, it's perfect. And then sometimes you're just like, man, today's not my day.
True. Yeah.
That reminds me, like, just a quick story, right? So here's the thing. When you're learning Japanese in school, you're going to learn Watashi, right? But when you start meeting Japanese people and you meet Japanese women, a lot of women say Atashi. And then we have this one friend, I'm not going to say his name, but this guy, let's just say he has a lot of run-ins with Japanese women. And he didn't know that Atashi is a female's way of saying it. So he would just say Atashi all the time, seriously in conversation. And then when I would hear him say it, I'm just like, man, you can tell this guy gets laid a lot.
Because I want to know who this guy is.
Like I was in a restaurant with him and he was talking to somebody who was like, Atashi wa ne? And I was like, what? I just looked at him like, did you just freaking say Atashi? And he was like, yeah, what's wrong? And I was like, you know, only girls say that, right?
Atashi.
Yeah.
It's, I guess.
Not even
towards-
watashi, man. You should say like
Yeah.
boku.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
ore.
I always say boku because, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to be like, I'm the man. So I try
Yeah,
as much
yeah.
not
Boku
to say
sounds more
like,
humble.
yeah, I want to be more humble. I
Yeah.
don't say, oh, yeah, ore nante. I don't say like ore. So,
So like to take it even a step further, right? Or like let's say the word watashi, right? When you talk about when women talk, they say atashi. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And then in the men's case, if they're somewhat humble, they say boku, right? And then when they feel like they're the man, they'll be like ore.
yeah.
I never learned ore in school. I learned boku, but not ore. And then I learned ore from our friends, Keito and Hiro. And then when I was in college taking Japanese classes, the teacher asked us to write down like a conversation between two people. And I used the word ore. And then she was like, why are you using that word? And I was like, oh, I learned it from my friends. And they said it means the same thing as watashi. And she was like, yeah, but, and she's Japanese, and my teacher. And then she goes, yeah, but only people who think highly of themselves say that. So you probably shouldn't use that. And I was like, really? I didn't know that. Because my friends were using it so openly. And she was like, yeah, guys will use it with each other, like with their best friends. But if you think of yourself more of like a humble person, you want to say boku, not ore.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one do you use?
I use boku all the time, mostly.
Yeah,
95% I say boku. Or maybe 97%. Yeah.
The only time I bust out watashi is if I'm talking to a client or if I just met the person and they're a lot older than me. I want to show respect. Like if I really want to show respect, I say watashi.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's boku. Sorry about that tangent, guys. We'll get back to the regular programming right now. So Bimyo, yeah. The next one we have, actually, I learned this one from YouTube because our YouTuber friend that I mentioned in a previous episode has another channel in Japanese where it's all about skateboarding. And every time somebody lands a hardcore trick, this word pops up. And that word is Atsui. And when you go to school, you're going to learn that Atsui means hot. And in slang, it also means hot, like the slang hot. So the English kind of, I guess that was in the 90s when hot was being used a lot, when it was trending. So in slang, Atsui means hot, but not just in the literal sense of temperature. It is often used to describe something exciting, intense, or passionate. And it can also refer to someone who is hot in the attractive sense too. So yeah, this one is used across all genders. And yeah, English equivalent is hot or intense or even fire.
I never used that before.
Atsui? Really?
Yeah, like in that way.
Oh man, here's your chance.
I mean, Atsui, like Atsui ne, like it's hot today. Like that, only that.
Yeah. Man, I hear them use it in the skater world all the time, dude.
What? I was a skater, not only but I was a skater.
Yeah. So here's an example scenario, right? You're watching a sports game, an exciting sports game, and then you're like, この試合熱いね. Like, this game is fire.
Ooh. Where's my pen? I want to write that. Nice. Dude,
Yeah.
13 years in Japan, bro. Never used that before.
So let's say somebody shows you like their new board, right? They have a new deck and there's like, the graphics are really nice and you're just like, atsui.
What? Dude, where have I been, man? Atsui.
Working.
かっけーじゃなくて熱い.
Yeah, so the next one we have is Gachi. Gachi emphasizes something that is serious, real, or not a joke. So it's almost like Hanpa Nai. It's very similar to Hanpa Nai. But Gachi is derived from gachinko, which was used in sumo wrestling to describe a genuine, unplanned match. And it became part of everyday slang to emphasize the seriousness or authenticity of something. So, and this one is also gender neutral. And the English equivalent for modern day English, you could say, is no cap or for real.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, so
I get it.
So here's a example scenario. Your friend asks if you're seriously planning to run a marathon. And then you reply, gachi de aru yo. Meaning, yeah, no cap.
熱いね。
I see what you did there.
Gotta practice, man. Wow,
Yeah.
okay. ガチでやる. Whoa. I'll write that one too. Thank you, Sensei Saul.
But this is all thanks to you, Kato. Thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Kato. Teach us more.
All right, so let's move on to the next one then. So the next word, I think everybody who lives in Japan for, let's say, at least a year will learn this word. But this word is Dasai.
Yeah.
Dasai means uncool or out of style, often used to criticize someone's fashion sense or behavior. And it's believed to have originated in the 1980s as a way to describe something or someone as unfashionable or outdated. It became popular in the context of youth culture, where it was commonly used to critique fashion and social behavior that were considered out of touch or unattractive. Yeah, the English equivalent would be like lame or tacky or even basic.
Oh, yeah.
So an example scenario could be, let's say your friend shows up in an outdated outfit and you're like, その服ダサいね.
Yeah.
So your outfit is so basic or outdated.
You can also use it like, for example, like you were telling a story to your colleague or your friend or whatever. You're like, man, I was freaking running and I slipped in front of these two girls and they're like, what? And my friend would be like, Dasai.
Yeah.
You know,
That's perfect.
You're freaking lame.
Yeah. Dude, I've been called Dasai a lot in Japan. Because like, obviously, I mean, you know that I work out a lot, right?
Yeah.
But I don't act tough. So like a lot of times I'll just be like, when I cross the street, I look both ways, even if the light is green. Because I've seen so many like news reports where like people are crossing the street and get hit by a sleeping driver. Oh, man, I don't want to die. So then I'll be walking, right? So you see this guy in a tank top, like walking across the street. And then I'll see like some young kid will look at me and be like, Dasa. Tell me like, man, you're not cool at all. And I'm just like,
really?
Yeah, hello to you too, man.
What the freak?
I guess they assume that I don't understand Japanese. So
or they're just jealous, bro.
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
You have any stories with Dasai?
Dasai. No, but I like the word Dasai because I love to use that word also in the way I explained earlier. Like if someone was doing something stupid or like they dumb or whatever, like Dasai. Like,
yeah,
because my nephew-in-law, we're like really close, but he would like do like some stupid dance. Like, I learned this dance. Like, yamete, dasai kara. Yeah. In a joking way, right? Because I'm his senpai, so.
Yeah, can you explain the scenario in English too for the people who don't speak Japanese?
Oh, so yeah. So dasai. Yeah. So if someone came in and was doing some stupid dance, and I was like, come on, stop that. That's lame, dude. And he knows that even if I said it like without even like warning him or it's a natural thing that anyone would know that you're like saying it as like a friend or as a joke in whatever situation it may be for you to say Dasai. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect to use with your really close friends. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
That's it for today's episode. If you have any questions or any stories you'd like us to share on the show, please let us know. And until next time, excuse me, Miss Ann, and see you.
See ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya.